So are Clemson and Georgia worth $8 million just for one game? Apparently they are. That's according to reporting from the Athens Banner Herald. So Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. Let's get smarter right now. This is from reporting from Mark Weiser and Fletcher Page at the Banner Herald. Both teams getting 27,000 tickets, another 500 complimentary tickets. So 27,000 will be purchased by the school, each school, and that this game's the one in Charlotte. 3 luxury suites for both for each school. Georgia won the last game between the two schools 45-21 and are up 42-18-4 in the grand scheme of things in that series. So this is a game made for TV, and clearly someone is paying for it. And I mean, we're going to see Georgia and Clemson play a lot over these next 12 years. Something like 5 games or 6, whatever it is, are scheduled already. This is not the only neutral site game that the two schools will play. But think about that, $4 million just to go roll out and play the game. If you're Georgia or for Clemson, Clemson, that's a huge payday for them. They don't play the Gators every single year. They have not played a bunch of these season opening games. I mean, it's a very good, very big fan base, but they're not used to sort of the travel of what Georgia has dealt with in the last 10 years. I mean, I was at the Alabama-Clemson game in 2008, and I was dumb enough to think that Clemson was going to win that game, and by about the second quarter, I knew they had no shot of winning that game. That's a game that jumps into my head the last time that Clemson played one of these preseason kind of kickoff games. Georgia's done it a lot lately. North Carolina, Boise State, and then obviously the Virginia game this season. They've got Oregon scheduled here soon. So all those games have been in Atlanta, and that's something that I think we're going to see more and more of. But for Georgia and Clemson to both say, okay, well, we won't play a home game, and we'll collect your $4 million. And by the way, it's $4 million, or according to the Banner Herald, or 45% of the event's net revenue. So I don't know if this game's been sold to a television network yet or not. I don't know if there has been a sponsor that's been aligned with the game, which is Duke's Mayonnaise. So Georgia will do not less than not fewer than $4 million. Clemson will get not fewer than $4 million, let alone the exposure that both schools will get. Now the other, that's just the money side of things. Lest we forget that both schools will probably enter this game as top 10 teams. Now, Clemson's going to be going through some, transition in a way that maybe Georgia won't coming into this game. When you think about Trevor coming back, Travis Etienne, so those guys will be gone. Obviously, Etienne's eligibility will be up. Georgia will be going through transition as it relates to they will be losing. Likely their starting quarterback in Jamie Newman, and probably some guys on the offensive line like Justin Schaefer and Ben Cleveland. The defense could be a little bit different for the Dogs too, but they don't have a problem with the defense and recruiting. So both these schools have built themselves up with recruiting. This is an excellent opportunity for both schools to market themselves in the lead up to, what will be the first normal college football season, we think, after this pandemic. I am extremely excited about it. Charlotte is okay for me. I'm not, it's not a great stadium, Bank of America field or whatever it's called, but it is what it is. And, you'd rather play this game in Atlanta. It's just a nicer venue. Obviously, it's closer to Georgia. That makes it easier for me. But I think if you were a neutral in this, you'd say, well, which place is better? Well, it's Atlanta. And the fact that the stadium is nicer, so I'm sure there will be people from the Carolinas that are watching this, but y'all know the truth. I mean, Charlotte is perfectly adequate. It's a nice city. It ain't Atlanta though. So give me your comments below if you really want to get after that one. But come on, let's be honest about it. But both schools get, $4 million is nothing. I mean, that's a significant payday. Now, again, Georgia and Jacksonville, they're used to getting a payday from a neutral site field. So that's 2 neutral sites now that Georgia will play in 2021. They always play a neutral site because of the Gators, but you're starting to add up enough money from these neutral site games. Not only, obviously, it's exposure, it's a national game and stuff like that. You're starting to be able to pay your coaching staff just with neutral site games. You're not having to have to deal with hosting the game and all that goes with that. I don't know what the recruiting ramifications from this game are. I would imagine that Kirby would want this to be open to recruiting. I would think Dabo would definitely want it to be open to recruiting when it's in Atlanta. So if I were both coaches and staffs, I would want this game to be open up for recruiting, etc. But at minimum, the people putting this on in Charlotte are paying both schools a combined minimum of $8 million. That is not nothing. These games are made on margins, and $8 million going out the door, that's a lot. So is it worth it? Somebody thinks so.